I'm king of the ice like Gretzky. In the hood I got greenery and Nestle. You just scenery, don't stress me. I'm Dickie down with a stack of green. I wanna f***, you wanna buy? Get the magazine. Got a range and I got a Chevy. And I sleep with a 007 like Holly Berry. Gas like Getty. I twist white chicks with a name like Becky. Hard rock on the block, sling rock steady. Shake down, bring the nightmares like Freddy. Black machete, still shine when I turn the lights down like Teddy. Mad in 04, you might catch your boy. When I'm on that KLR, can't catch your boy. I'm in the wind. Cafe got the juice and it's in the gin. And I'ma stack this cake like Entenmann's.
Tremaine Alfred Denny, aka Red Cafe, born September 19th, 1976. Today's feature is probably one of the best rappers turned behind the scenes figures in hip hop you never heard about. Or maybe you have, because Red Cafe has been doing this for some time now, easily over 20 years in the game. He's respected in multiple areas within the rap scene, but in his prime, you could count on Cafe to come with the bars and the hits. Not to mention, throughout the 2000s and 2010s, he's kinda became known for some of the best mixtapes in the streets. Red Cafe was an artist always right on the cusp of transitioning into the mainstream, but never quite got his foot in the right door, resulting in over a lifetime in the game and only ever releasing one album. His story can somehow be the poster child for destiny is what it always been. Like Jay-Z famously said, you are who you were before you got here. Maybe Red Cafe was meant to be exactly what he became as a rapper, which is better off behind the scenes making things shake down. Even knowing that, many had Red Cafe as an artist that had the potential to blow during the late 2000s, right alongside French Montana and his good friend Fabolous. While they took off, Cafe became involved in multiple setbacks with major label situations beyond his control and never really got that push in a timely enough manner to solidify his spot among rappers to remember from his era. Of course, growing up and paying attention to hip-hop in that era, Red Cafe was always a name you heard alongside much of the East Coast talent making noise like the aforementioned Fabolous, French, Lloyd Banks, even Papoose, who both didn't see eye to eye at one point, but Cafe was never spoken about as the name. Always the guy on the side or the guy behind the scenes to something major. Even today, he remains involved with most of the popular rappers in some way, whether ghostwriting, enhancing ideas, or producing. It's one thing I respect about Cafe is he's a hustler that's been consistent and definite in his involvement in music, committed to making this a way for himself, to which he states even if he wasn't being paid, he would still rap. That dedication is clear when you sit down and get to overview Red Cafe's career in music and all the ups and downs that led to now, where although the streets, underground, and true rap fans, especially from the 2000s through 2010s, respect what he's done in the game, it still can feel like this guy was supposed to make it bigger in rap, and for these reasons, I think that never happened. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Red Cafe was born in Guyana and moved to Brooklyn, New York at the age of 5 or 6 years old. He recalls life for him at the time was surrounded by family members who all had some sort of hustle and knew how to make a way in their new country to survive. His uncles would always be fresh and made sure he was as well, supplying him with clothes and jewelry he was way too small to wear. His father wasn't around much since his hustle led to him going to prison, causing a young Cafe to rebel. His father is actually where he got the name Red and added the Cafe from a name he used in the streets to stamp his work. He was a one-stop shop. Anything you needed, he had. It was part of his hustle and rebellious times that led to him getting shot and going to prison for weapons and drug-related charges, to which he would spend 4 years of his early teen life. He came out and took music serious with the group The Franchise that were signed to Violator Records and Def Jam, but quickly folded as the group disbanded, leaving Cafe to go solo. Stunt number 1, false starts. Other than it being one of the most saturated industries, the music business, in particular rap and hip-hop, is tough to get a start and break through because there's so many moving parts and situations that have to come together at the right time and in the right environment. One potentially moving part for young artists is signing deals to labels that aren't rooted in the game and have enough experience or consistency that you won't have to fare and/or deal with them dissolving and stunting your career. In 1992, at 15, about to turn 16 years old, Red Cafe went to prison on weapons and drug charges. He was a street guy that didn't just become that because he wanted to or because he was influenced by the lifestyle of his favorite rappers. His entire family, for the most part, was in the business, so it led him down that path early. He was released 4 years later, and he and his group, The Franchise, started to make waves locally. A bidding war began with famous hip-hop producers Trackmasters and Chris Lighty and Violator Records / Def Jam. Trackmasters had a placement for him on the soundtrack for the Into Deep movie, released in 1999, that would have been a big deal for Cafe and his group. Because Chris Lighty really wanted The Franchise, specifically Red, the deal with Sony and Trackmasters was cut and they signed to Chris and Violator. Because there wasn't great enough infrastructure within the company, no creators to polish their raw talent, as Cafe later says, things didn't work out. He left the group and went solo, signing finally, as he wanted, to Trackmasters and Arista Records through L.A. Reid. Again, because of a fallout between Trackmasters and Arista, that deal fell through quite quickly as well. Another deal was done with Mac 10 and his label, but the company folded and Cafe was out in the cold once again. A deal with Motown was next, and two crumbled over bad blood between Sylvia Rhone and representatives of Red Cafe, and again another false start that led to him deciding to go independent and not breaking into the mainstream like he'd hoped. Stunt number 2, Overshadowed. Another reason I think Red Cafe never blew up as a rapper is because during the late 2000s, when music was making a change from the older guard to younger artists like 50 Cent, Fabolous, French Montana, Paul Kane, and that crop of East Coast rappers, Red Cafe kinda got lost in the shuffle as French and Fab continued to rise. Cafe was always a dope rapper, and he made hits like Paper Touchin', I'm Ill, Hottest in the Hood, Fly Together, that was a top 50 song, and more. But he wasn't a star like Fab and French. He was always seen as one of the side guys that's kinda dope, but there was something missing. French had a look working for him, as well as he sounded like no one before him, with his cadence and unique flow made for mainstream. Fabolous had history, as he was in the game since the early 2000s, had hits and platinum records under his belt, and was touted as the heir to the throne of NYC rap. Cafe was just coming from so many failed situations, nor that thing about him that could make him blow up, like crazy bars, new flow, or transcending song. This caused him to be more and more overshadowed. Stunt number 3, better behind the scenes. Finally, Red Cafe was simply just a better behind the scenes guy than the star of the show, and history has tried to show him that clearly. Whenever he had a chance to blow and everything was laid out, something unfortunate would happen and he would lose that grip. He continued to release music all throughout the 2010s, but nothing managed to take off as he got older and less desirable, almost as if he missed his train to the success he wanted. From there, he decided to play more in the background and began producing for artists and ghostwriting records, leading to behind-the-scenes success to where he worked with countless artists in hip-hop, old and present. Although he won't reveal those artists, it's enough for him to continue hustling his way into making music a way to feed himself and family. In this role, he gets to be a star without the lights shining on him. In the music game, you need those kind of people. Even though he took the long way there, he's content and grateful how it all played out. All in all, Red Cafe was a solid rapper, but he just wasn't meant to be a star. He still had cool songs here and there and had the respect of heavy hitters in the game. His co-op album with DJ Envy remains his only album released. He had dreams of becoming a huge star, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.